too. Thorny bushes and prickly brambles grew all around the walls, and for the next 100 years the palace was silent and still. One day, a prince who was out riding his horse happened to pass the palace. I wonder who lives there, he thought to himself. The prince climbed up the prickly plants as carefully as he could. Then he crept around the quiet palace until he came to the room where Sleeping Beauty lay on her bed. "Who is this sleeping princess?" wondered the prince, as he leant forwards and gently kissed her cheek. Sleeping Beauty woke up at once. Rubbing her eyes, she smiled at the prince. Soon, everybody in the palace had woken up too. The king and queen were so happy to see the princess again, all thanks to the prince who had woken her up after all those years.
Tom Thumb. There was once a boy who was called Tom Thumb because he was only as tall as his father's thumb. Tom's family were very poor, but they made a little money by selling wood which they cut from the forest nearby. One day, Tom asked his father if he could help him.
"I know," said Tom. "You chop the wood and I'll bring the horse and cart to collect it."
"But how?" replied his father. "You're far too small to drive a cart."
"Lift me into the horse's ear," said Tom. "Then I'll whisper into it to tell the horse where to go."
So the father carefully put Tom in the horse's ear and went off to cut some wood. Tom's father was amazed when he saw Tom driving the cart into the forest. But two other men were also watching.
"Ah, look how that tiny boy tells the horse what to do,"
said the first man.
"Yes," replied the second man. "He could be very useful. Let's see if we can buy him."
"We'll pay you lots of money to take your son away with us,"
said the first man to Tom's father.
"I'm sorry, Tom's not for sale,"
he replied. But Tom knew how much his family needed more money.
"Let them buy me,"
Tom whispered to his father,
"and I promise I'll find my way back to you."
At last, Tom's father agreed. The men gave him a large bag of money. Then he lifted Tom onto the first man's hat and said goodbye.
"Surely you need a rest and a drink,"
called Tom after the men had walked for a while.
"Why don't you sit down and take off your hat? It's so warm today."
As soon as the man put his hat on the ground, Tom jumped off it and ran straight into a mouse hole.
"They'll never reach me in here,"
panted Tom. And he stayed quiet as a real mouse until he was sure the men had stopped looking for him and gone away. When Tom climbed out of the mouse hole, it was night time, so he curled up in an empty snail's shell and slept. Suddenly, a man's voice woke him up.
"If I can get into that big house over there, I can steal all their gold and silver,"
Tom heard the man say.
Excuse me," called Tom. "Maybe I can help you. I'm so small I can sneak into a house without anyone seeing."
Said the man.
"That would be helpful."
So he picked up Tom and took him to the big house. It was easy for Tom to sneak into the house through a small...